What's up guys, it's Celeste, and today is International Transgender Day of Visibility. It's actually my first time actually being able to celebrate this because I wasn't out this time last year. So I'm really excited to be able to actually be visible and talk about it on this YouTube channel, which is just kind of crazy to me. Like, this time last year, even though I had already decided I was going to be coming out at some point, I definitely did not expect that I would be out so publicly and would be talking about it on a YouTube channel and would be talking about all these aspects of my identity and all this kind of personal stuff so publicly. But I'm so glad that I am. I want to talk about how important visibility is to me, but first I just want to sort of clarify that I understand that visibility is not for everybody. For one thing, there are a lot of reasons why it's not safe for everybody to be out as trans. There are institutional reasons, societal reasons, interpersonal reasons. Everybody's situation is different, and if you do not feel safe being out as trans, that is completely valid. And even if you just simply don't want to be out, if you just feel like that's your personal business that you don't really want to share with anybody, that's completely valid too. For me, I have this kind of inner compulsion, I guess, to live not just authentically, but visibly, and to talk about the things that are important to me and my life. I really like sharing my life with other people and sharing all the things that I see and do and like experiences that I have and all kinds of stuff like that. It makes me feel more connected to other people and to the world around me to do that. I feel like I've kind of always been that way, but for various social reasons, I felt pressured not to live that way, and it really affected me negatively to feel like I had to hide parts of myself and feel like I had to even like dilute or tone down parts of myself to be more palatable to other people or to please other people. It really did not match well with my personality to live like that. I totally respect that other people want to be really private and not share parts of their lives with other people. That's totally fine. It goes against my nature to do that. So being out as trans and talking about it and being visible has really been a positive experience for me, not only in the sense of helping me feel like I can be accepted by people around me as trans, but in kind of allowing me to live in alignment with myself and what feels right to me as far as how I live my life. But of course, visibility helps other people too. I think that visibility, not just in quantity, but also in diversity, is probably the single thing that has the biggest impact on helping people be more accepted and to kind of chip away at the stigmas around being different. Probably the single biggest reason that I did not know that I was trans until so far into my life was just that there weren't really any examples for me to look to of what it was to be trans in a way that I could relate to. For one thing, there were very few examples at all of trans people, but what there was very narrow in scope and usually was very tragic and just was not something that I really could relate to. It wasn't something that I could look at and say, that looks like me or how I feel. It wasn't until much later that I started to really get to know more trans people and see more trans people visible and talking about their experiences and sharing their various gender expressions that I really started to see that there is more to gender than just male and female. And that is really what allowed me to start exploring my own gender and ultimately realize that I am non-binary. I feel like that's important for people like me who were either questioning or sort of pre-questioning, just knowing that there's something different about them. And also for cis people, because I feel like that having these human examples of what it is to be trans is just really important as far as giving people something to look to, really helping people to understand what it is to be trans beyond just reading a definition. So I think that visibility is about showing that we are out here and that we exist in the world and kind of showing that there are so many of us, but also talking about the diversity and the differences between us and the huge spectrum of the trans experience. Before I came out, there were a few times I remember where I would see a cis person that I knew reacting to some trans person and it would give me kind of a sense of whether or not I could then trust that cis person. Several of these times were things that the cis person didn't know that I saw, because it was the Facebook thing where it says like so-and-so liked such and such or whatever, and it's somebody that you don't actually know. And that happened a couple of times where I felt like, oh, I guess this cis person would accept me if I came out to them. So that trans person that I don't know and have never met, by being out, positively impacted my life and made my life easier. And that's something that I got to experience kind of the flip side of a couple months ago when a friend of mine messaged me on Facebook and told me that somebody else he knew had just come out as a trans woman, and that his reaction to her coming out was he felt much different than it would have been if he had not known me and if he had not talked to me about being trans and about why it's so important to accept trans people. It really meant a lot to me for him to say that, and I think that it kind of just underlines this point that we have an impact on not just the people that we interact with directly, but kind of this ripple effect that goes beyond that. It feels really good to me to be part of this kind of movement of helping people to be more comfortable with themselves and others, hopefully kind of change society and make things more accepting for trans and gender nonconforming people. It's especially important to me as a non-binary person to be out here talking about this stuff, because I'm far from the only one doing it, but there's definitely a lot less of it in the media, and so for me to be able to be kind of an entry point to people to kind of understand what it is to be non-binary and to understand different aspects of gender and the transgender experience is really important to me, and something that I'm really proud to be a part of here on YouTube. I really hope I've been able to help make some of you out there feel less alone and feel like that you're not the only one feeling these things and having these experiences, and it's okay if you don't match some particular experience of gender that society expects from you. Considering how far I've come in the last year in terms of understanding my gender and being open about it, I'm really interested to see where I end up this time next year. And I hope some of you will be there with me along the way. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my future content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.